Good morning, gamers. Today I'm going to talk about the most underrated weapon in Apex for Season 6 and why you should be using it. Before I do, my viewing figures show me that 95% of my views for Apex are coming from unsubscribed people, which probably comes down to the fact that most of my original subscribers subscribe because of Call of Duty. So if you could drop a sub, it would help immensely, and like I say, it's always greatly appreciated. So, if I told you there was a weapon that had better damage per second than the Vault, better damage per second than the R99, and could kill quicker in body shots than a Peacekeeper can to the head, and is actually statistically worse with certain attachments, and it's not the Devotion, I bet most of you would be a little bit confused. To be honest, I was a little bit confused saying that sentence. Now what if I told you it's been in since the start, and in Season 6 just got another buff, despite it already being that powerful? So the weapon that I'm talking about today is the Prowler, and I'm betting you're all sitting there already shouting, but finding a select fire is really annoying. And you'd be right, so don't. The Prowler on burst is actually stronger in most categories than the full auto, and isn't weaker in any of them. It does 525 damage to the body alone with a purple mag. The problem is that the Prowler on burst is, if you're not experienced, it's really annoying to control. Let's be honest, when you maybe haven't used a gun too much, the recoil can throw you out. But the problem with the Prowler is the fact that when you're bursting and you're pressing fire continuously and the recoil is one of the more stronger in the game, it's going to be a problem for most players. So let's talk about that recoil and how to turn quite frustrating stuff into a bit of a laser beam. In Season 6, Respawn slightly reduced the vertical recoil in burst mode. So any old recoil patterns you see online are probably out of date. So this is the recoil when you're trying not to fight against it. Pretty awful, right? So it pulls almost straight up for the first 20 bullets, which is what you'd have if you don't have an extended mag. Then it swerves left and then almost exactly horizontally right when you have the bullets from an extended mag, say a purple one. So you've got that sort of curved left and then straight right line, which for a newer player or someone that isn't that experienced with the Prowler, makes you miss your shots. And it's so frustrating when you hit someone for initially quite hard with the first couple of bursts and then you can't hit the last one because the recoil's taken it away from you. What if I told you with a bit of practice you can shoot like this? So I am going to be completely honest. While I'm a master player and been Predator multiple times, it's not the easiest gun to control, and as you can see in mine, even I'm not shooting it exactly right. So the best way to practice is trying to pull down for the first 4 bursts, then slightly down to your left. Think about 7 PM on the clock for the remainder. This will give you the basics and allow you to effectively melt most people at close to medium distances. However, to fully master the weapon, you're going to have to need some time practicing the recoil pattern. That'll be dull, I'll be completely honest with you, it's not great, but it'll lead you to frying whole teams before having to reload, so it's really worth it if you're looking to maybe take that step up in a rank, or if you're feeling like maybe you're missing a burst or two. With the Prowler burst, you can't hold the trigger down, so you're going to need to practice your timing on the shots as well. It's quite simple when listening to the sound, but spamming also works too, so obviously just hitting it as fast as you can and the burst will come out when it's ready. I'm actually in the spam category myself because I find it easier because I play Claw, but find what works best for you. The other reason why this gun is so underrated is that it pairs perfectly with literally any medium to long range gun. My ideal combination is a Hemlock, which has also had a buff to its burst in Season 6. In Season 6 they reduced the vertical recoil in burst mode and slightly reduced the recoil pattern for the second and third shot, so the burst kicks less, so the Hemlock has now become even more stronger than it already was. And they also lowered the time between bursts, only slightly, but it's enough to be noticeable. This is really useful for ranked when ammo efficiency comes into play, especially in the higher ranks, because you're only running one set of ammo, heavy, and 2 very powerful guns that dominate the long kind of range, which is the Hemlock on single fire, medium to long, Hemlock on burst, and everything closer is covered by the absolutely disgusting Prowler. The reason I choose to, in ranked, especially at the master pred lobbies, is to stick with one type of ammo type. Like last season I'd run a G7 with a R99 or a 301 with a 99. It's just so that you don't run out with one weapon's bullets, because if you do, you're just effectively running with one gun. If you're running say 300 ammo that's heavy across 2 heavy guns, you may have to pull off your firing towards the end game and play a bit passively when you're running low, but at least you'll have that option to play long or short depending on what it suits. So get out there and give it a try. If you find your shooting with it isn't that great, give it 5 minutes in firing range against the dummies and just try practicing your burst while strafing. That should really cover you when you're getting into a game and you're picking it up for the first time. But let me know in the comments below if you're having any issues. I'm going to be setting up a series where I cover most of the popular weapons in much more detail than this and show you how to handle them best and what situations they really excel in. So make sure you subscribe to be the first to see those and drop a like if you found this video useful. But anyway, I'll leave you with that. I just thought I would highlight the Prowler as an incredibly strong gun, one that a lot of people seem to be overlooking in this season outside of the highest level of the game. So it may be something that you haven't given a try, or you've given a try in a previous season and you've not really tried it in burst with the new buffs that have come with Season 6. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it, and goodbye.